I have a quick story. I've got my cat. I kidnapped him really from my yard, and it was well documented on this show. I don't know how to point people back to those episodes. Good luck. So I've had him for about a year now, and then I sort of fell into adopting Charlie, my orange short hair tabby. We were in Mississippi a couple weekends ago. We go to this gas station, and I could see a creature moving just in the middle of the parking lot. My first reaction was to think, God, it's a tall rat, and it was a kitten, a really young one. So very scrawny, and just walk in the middle of the parking lot, like just begging to be hit by a car. And so we stop. Paula is a veterinary nurse, so she was like, go get it. We see another one next to it. It's got a sibling. We basically we look around for the mom. We couldn't even find where they came from. We finally did find a cat that was probably the mom. But it was really hot, and they were very far from where she was. We determined that they were not going to live very long just because of how far they'd strayed. I don't know if there were other kittens in that litter. They kind of tell you, like, if you find kittens, find the mom. They're better off with the mom. But we made a judgment call, and they were just old. They were about 2 weeks old because they had just opened their eyes, and their eyes were all junky and, had the goop in them. And we were like, nope. So Paula has a kennel just in her car. So we threw him in the kennel, got some, and then just brought him back to Mobile with us and stopped and got some kitten formula and everything. So I start texting all you guys, like, does anyone want cats? Because as soon as this happened, I looked at her and I said, I'm going to lose control, and you're going to have to tell me I can't do this. You have to tell me I'm not allowed to take them in, because I can't. I'm at capacity. I worry about money constantly, but in a couple of weeks, I'm going to start making excuses, and you need to, it was like, I'm going to turn into a werewolf, and no matter what I say,
I can't go out. Yeah.
I was like Jack Black in Tropic Thunder. I was like, tie me to a tree. I'm going to offer you stuff. Everything I say is a fucking lie. Don't listen to me.
Yes.
And so I just started trying to offload them onto everyone, and no one could take them. I had texted my brother, and I was like, you guys wouldn't want a couple of kittens, would you? And he said categorically no.
No. Yeah.
And so it became this whole discussion, because I wasn't really aware of the perception, but she was telling me it's like everyone wants a cute puppy. Everyone will take a stray puppy. Like, puppies. Nobody wants cats. And I was like, why? Like, it's like, just because, I don't know, but because the cats just aren't as cute. And I'm like, those are cute. First of all, their cats are lower maintenance. And I'm allergic to dogs. And for the record, I'm fucking allergic to cats. Somehow Palpatine survived.
Yeah, somehow Palpatine returned.
It's just crazy. We're just like all this, like, I went from a year ago, like not really a year and a half ago, no cats. And then like I was cat curious, and then I bought a trap and took one, and then he bit me and I kept him. And then she had this orange tabby. Guy who found him was apathetic about keeping. I think I want him. Magically, what I thought would happen happened. He brought out the young man in my existing cat. They play together. They even protect each other. The other day I was handling Charlie a little rough because he was biting me, and so I was kind of like just trying to wrestle him off me. Tiptoes hissed at me. He was like, "Easy, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow." Yeah. It was kind of nice. I was like, "That's awesome."
Yeah.
So anyway,
you after my brother, you after me.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, I don't like that."
That's right.
So that's where we're at. I finally reached this like state of like acceptance and acknowledgement. I want to help these cats. I want to give them what they need. Yeah. And I can't. Yeah. And that's okay. That's right. Somebody will. It's going to be fine.
That's right. There's only been one time where a cat has found me. Yeah. Like any time I have an animal, it's okay. I want an animal. Let's go get an animal. Mm-hmm. Got it. Mm-hmm. I don't do it the other way around. Does not work on me. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, look, I found an animal. That now it'll be mine. It doesn't work on me. Yeah. It is. I can't like unexpectedly find a pet. Yeah, man. Like the only time when I was 10, whatever, we had a cat show up one time. Little baby kitten at the house. And so it's like already there. And like, needed a place and needed something. And so that worked out. Plus I was 10, so I didn't make that decision.
Right.
But yeah, as an adult, I certainly don't go out of my way. It's like, if I'm not going with the express purpose of adoption, it's not going to happen.
Tiptoes is traumatized. So he is slow to trust. He's not physically affectionate that much, but like I'll wake up and Charlie is like sleeping in my armpit, like under my covers. And so that's kind of nice.
Found a spot.
Yeah. It's nice. Cause he's a little burrower and that's how he's used. And of course these two kittens in the car were like 20 minutes from the gas station and they immediately just fall asleep and they are packed together. Mm-hmm. And it's cute. It's cute. Now they're old enough to like fight each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of cool.
Sweet.
But I'm in my cat era, Dustin. I'm in my, sure. That's no exception for one of the movies we're talking about tonight.
Yeah.
That movie is Flow. Which came out, I was going to say a few years ago, at 2024.
2024.
I perceive it as being like 2020 or something, but no, it has not been around that long. This is the film written and directed by Genzilbalotis. Uh-huh. I'm doing my best. Co-written by him and Matisse Kaza. These are Latvian gentlemen. Uh-huh. And it is a 90-minute, 85-minute long animated film about a cat basically surviving in some kind of apocalypse. This is on Disney Plus. That's where I saw it. I think my son had come home from like one of the last days of school and he was like, hey, I was like, wow, how was your day? And he was like, oh, we just watched Flow today. And I was like, what? Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how much he liked it. And I was like, yeah, I guess I've never seen it. I put it on. I figured everyone could. And one of the great things, I'll just say right off the bat, one of the great things about movies like this, I always say it, is movies without dialogue have a way of sucking you in, man. It takes away that element of, I can just listen and not pay attention and I can follow the story. It takes that away and goes, nope. You gotta watch. You can watch this or you can turn off and go do something else, but we're not half watching this. That's right. So buckle up, Gen Alpha. Or I was going to say Gen Alpha, but it's really us, the millennials.
It's really millennials, yeah. We're the ones. Buckle up me.
Yeah, buckle up me. Put the phone away.
Yeah.
This movie was nominated, actually won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars, and a bunch of other awards, Golden Globe, Best Animated Feature. Accolades, if those things matter to you. I'm just going to tell you, it is a small time investment, 85 minutes, and you can watch it with your family, and they can follow what's going on. And from a technical standpoint, it's really impressive because the 5.5 year production of this film, this was all done in Blender. Which I had only recently even been aware of because of channels like the Corridor Crew and stuff, people who talk about visual effects. And because I wouldn't have otherwise known what Blender is, and nor would really a lot of people listening to this show, I suppose. But Blender is open source software, animation software, VFX software. So like, this is one of those things, if you're going to be out there making movies and there's free good software that, that there's a whole editing suite with Blackmagic. And then you've got programs like Blender where you can just get, it's just out there, and I don't know how to use it, but like you could learn it. And these guys made a whole ass movie that won an Oscar.
That's right.
And I don't know how they got their sounds and, where they recorded I don't know if it's just some stock license they got for all the meows and all the different animal noises, but it's just impressive. And, the movie, I'll talk about the plot real quick. There's just a cat out in the woods, and it's like, oh, that's cool. A couple of things are weird. There's a very large cat statue out there. Have you seen this, Dustin?
I saw about half of it. When it first came out, I saw about half of it and I never went back to it. I don't know why. Yeah. There's a big cat statue out in the woods. And so there's some of those things where I'm like, what is this, like a cat world? Why is there a big cat statue? It doesn't really matter. It's just, I guess they were making it like, there's a big cat statue. Why not? Who else would it be of? Why not?
But very quickly, you do kind of ask the question and like, where are the people? Like he sleeps in like this abandoned house, but like not fully abandoned, but just kind of like, what happened to this owner? It kind of plants a question. And then all of a sudden there's just this massive flood, like a very fast, very high flood. And pretty soon there's just water everywhere, but he happens upon a boat, and there's other animals that are out and kind of dealing with this. And they all just kind of meet and like kind of commune in the boat. And they kind of become like unwitting, crewmates on this boat that just drifts to other locations. And it's like, now we're over here and we've got lemur, and this lemur's got all this cool stuff in jars he really wants to keep. And like the dog's like, what's in the book? And the lemur's like, get off the jars. And it just sounds very like basic, but it's like, it's very calming. It's one of those movies that you watch and just, you're just like, oh, like, it's just nice. It's just relaxing. And there's pretty things to look at. And of course me, I just taken on all these cats. And so I'm just scrutinizing the cat animation. And I was like, this is really good. Like they got the way that the animals move totally down. They're not anthropomorphized too much. Like it's not like, oh, how did he pick this up? There's none of that stuff. There's none of, oh, a cat wouldn't do that. It's like, it's just,
it seemed like it was anthropomorphized in its expressiveness. Like the cat, oh, I'm shocked at this thing. Yeah. So the eyes get big and like, it of course a cat does that, but like it's played up in a way that feels animation, more like human emotion. Yeah.
But not overly done. Like it's pretty subtle. And just to think like, again, like this is not like a gigantic team of animators. These are just a small group of people in Blender. This isn't, a huge, the budget for this, I don't even think is, 3 million. I don't know what Latvian currency is, but it made 50 million back.
There you go.
And so, and even more than the money, it's like, that's just cool. It's just cool that it exists. So, if you got kids, you probably have Disney Plus. I think you should check it out. Even if you don't have kids, this is a good vibes watch and just kind of enjoy the atmosphere a little bit. And that's how I felt about Flow.
Nice.
I don't have much else to say about it. Just cool stuff. Okay, Dustin, I want to hear about, well, you know what? This will go in, Dustin. Speaking of animation and animals, I want to hear about The Migration.
The Migration?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it just Migration?
No, it's Greenland 2 Migration. And it's not animated. It has no animals.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, dog. This is the Gerard Butler Morena Baccarin film.
I knew about that. I thought you also saw the Illumination film about the about the Mallard family that migrates to the city, starring Kumail Nanjiani and Elizabeth Banks.
I know nothing about this. I pulled the
trailer and everything.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I don't know anything about this film.
I thought you watched this for some reason.
I did not. Oh my gosh!
I do want to hear about Greenland, and I'm gonna have to keep all that
in this.
Yeah, Awkwafina's in it. Yeah.
No, I wish I'd seen that. Now that would have been a great segue. No, I watched Greenland 2 Migration.
I thought it was just called Greenland 2. I didn't realize. There it is. Yeah,
Greenland 2 Migration. That's the full title of the film.
Let me reread your text. Hold on a second. Oh my God.
Wow. Nope. Did not see or Migration, whatever that is. About ducks. Didn't see that one. I assume they're flying south for the winter. Is that the whole premise?
I think they fly north because in the trailer they're like, why is everyone flying the other direction? And I thought it was this foreboding thing, but then they're in the city. And so now it's like, oh, there's pigeons and there's other birds. And
so it's like small town ducks going to the metropolis of New York.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know.
It's fantastic.
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
I did not, my brain had no knowledge of that film existing.
Well, tell me about Greenland 2 Migration.
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 From Illumination, the creators of Minions. Migration trailer starts now.
Space agencies tracking the fragment are predicting an extinction level event. The greatest chance of survival are the bunkers in Greenland.
Go! Listen to me, son. It doesn't matter what happens. Because we're always going to be together.
Everybody says that this is the new normal.
For those we've lost.
So we're going on 5 years now, so it isn't all that new. It definitely ain't normal.
I hate this place. All right, come here.
Listen, bud, I know it's tough being stuck down here. It's too dangerous outside.
Be advised, we've got a radiation storm north of your location.
Open the door! Get it open!
Our situation is getting worse. Do we think there's anywhere that's safe from all of this?
We believe the crater walls prevent the radioactive storms from forming, making it a safe zone.
There could be breathable air, drinkable water.
It's in southern France. How exactly are we going to get there?
We can't stay here, honey. We didn't come all this way for this. I want a new beginning for our family.
Okay, the Clark crater is our best bet.
How many fragments do you think are up there?
More than I can count. It's crazy to think something so beautiful can be so deadly.
Where are we?
Everyone looks so lost.
We gotta go! Let's go!
The world is a dangerous place now.
Well, what is that? Storm?
That's not a storm.
Outside! Jump onto something!
Half of his life has been surviving. We have to get to the crater. Don't look down.
Hang on!
We're gonna keep going.
Go! Oh my God!
I'll take care of you both till my last breath.
Yeah, I saw the first one of this. I remember talking about it on the show, actually.
Yeah, I think we saw it on the show. Yeah. So Greenland 2 Migration came out this year, so 2026, in January, where things get dumped.
Oh, yeah.
And
it was a flop as well. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's now on HBO Max, I think, is where I watched this. And I kind of just watched it because I didn't have anything better to do. It's directed by Rick Romanwa, who directed the first one.
Okay.
And he did some other things with Gerard Butler, I believe. Let me just double check myself there. Angel Has Fallen.
Okay.
So yeah, man, he's been around.
Kandahar.
Yeah. But yeah. So for those of you that don't remember or didn't see the first Greenland film, there's a cataclysmic event where like some meteors come down, they destroy a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And humanity is like on this last ditch effort to like go to this bunker, basically.
Yeah.
You discover this as the film progresses. This family has been picked for this, like to be saved. This lottery system has picked them, and so now they're headed there. And like that's the whole premise. So this film picks up with the family inside the bunker, and they are like living life. They've been in there for a few years now. Their son, who was a child, is now a teenager, and he doesn't really know much about life outside anymore. Like it's just been too long.
Yeah.
And they are occasionally venturing out into the world, but it is dangerous because of radiation and all that stuff. And so they get wind that there may be another place they could go, and so they're going to try to migrate to that place when their bunker that they're in is revealed to be unstable. And so
what?
Yeah, it's like on a fault line or something, and
who the fuck missed that?
Yeah, or something.
Or there's new fault lines that the creator.
I think that's what it is.
I was gonna say that's a big oversight.
That's a big oversight.
Oh my
sorry,
God, guys!
We spent millions on this place.
I put the bunker on the one thing I should have put it on. Not fault. Between two plates.
My bad.
I'm sorry, guys. The opening of the film is they murder that guy for fucking them.
Pretty much.
They make their son do it. Like, son, we have to kill people sometimes when they make mistakes. Yeah, be a man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. So the whole movie is like them migrating to this place. And of course, they come in contact with other people and other things and like other survivors. And I don't know, dude. Like, it's just one of those movies where they just go, it's a road trip movie. They go here to there.
Yeah.
They meet different people along the way.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Danger.
Some are good, some are bad.
Sometimes happens. CG danger.
CG danger. Sometimes it's okay CG, and a lot of times it's not. And like it's a low budget film. So
well, because in the trailer, like there's still fragments of the crater like in orbit, and so whenever the plot wants, they drop meteorites into the story.
Yeah, whenever the writer goes, "Oh crap, how do I get out of this scene?" Meteors,
space
they run.
junk, yeah,
they run, and there's a new person, and so that's it. But yeah, the film stars Gerard Butler, Miranda Baccarin, and some other people. But basically, I don't know, man. Like, how do you talk about a movie like this? It was dumped in January for a reason. It just kind of is. It doesn't do anything. Like, I think it has a decent idea, but it doesn't really execute it well enough for it to be important. Like, it feels like both the convenience of, as we've mentioned, the convenience of the like danger just popping in whenever they wanted to. All of the like, oh no, we're meeting people, but they might be bad. It's like, well, we've done that in every movie ever.
Yeah.
There's no surprise in this anymore.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. Like, I wish there was some way you could subvert that and still maintain conflict, because the only way you can subvert it is that they meet people who they think are bad, but they're good, but then there's no conflict.
Well,
so like
then our characters turn out to be the bad people that those people are afraid of running into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I just don't know what else you do with something like this.
Which would have been bold. Like if it would have been like, we're out of food and they look at those good people and it's like, we're going to have to pretend to be nice and then we're going to have to eat those people.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
We're gonna have to become cannibals.
We're gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
Well, and like there are certainly movies where that works even after the tropes have been firmly established, right? Like the Book of Eli, we've talked about that. Like the Book of Eli, it works, but that's basically what it is. I mean, essentially, that's what the Odyssey is, right?
Yeah.
The Odyssey sort of is the first version of this story where we're going from point A to point B and we're encountering dangers and other people along the way.
Yep.
And like, that just is kind of its own little subgenre of whatever. And
it's The Walking Dead.
It's The Walking Dead. It's everything. It's 28 Days Later, all the 28 movies. It's like, that's what it is. But like, yeah, I guess I just want something new at this point. Like it doesn't feel particularly interesting anymore. Yeah. So in order for it to be interesting, you have to give me either interesting characters or like some interesting danger or something. But like, there's just nothing here. The characters are like long gone in the sense that like they actually have depth or, you know, resonance anyway. Like if I remember right in the first film, the two main characters, Gerard Butler and Marina Baccarin, are like they're a little bit estranged. Like they are like, I can't remember what it was. If it was there's some infidelity or whatever there was, but there was something where
there was infidelity. I remember now.
Yeah, they weren't quite like, you know, on the up and up. Well, that's like gone here. And like, of course, like you want it to be gone. Like you don't want a whole nother movie where that's still
5 years later. He's still thinking about how his wife cheated on him.
Right. But like,
remember before the world ended and you cheated on me?
Yeah, exactly.
It's hardly important.
Like you want something. And like, you know, there's just nothing here. And so then you have like, okay, well, maybe it's the son. Maybe the son is going to struggle with whatever. But it's just kind of like glossed over and whatever. And so, yeah, there's just nothing of import like here that like makes you go like, oh, this is cool or novel or unique or fun. And like I've said before, like a story doesn't have to be original, quote unquote, or like novel in order to be good. It just has to give me good characters and tell me a good story and make me care. And this film doesn't do that. It has the bones of it, but in the actual execution of it, it fails. And so it just feels a little bit boring and a little bit bland. And so, yeah, for that reason, like, you know, I'm not even going to say it's fine. It's not fine. It's just like, bleh. It doesn't. There's no reason to watch this movie.
If you're 22 years old and you don't have kids and you watch movies all the time, like, sure. But if you have anything at all better to do with your time, there's other things to watch.
The film's an hour and 40 minutes. Like it's not a huge time commitment, but even in that, like you would think, come on, let's do something. Like, what's the story you're wanting to tell? Like, I'd have to pull up the box office, but I don't believe that Greenland was a huge box office hit.
Let me look.
So,
Greenland was a pandemic movie. I mean, that was. I think that was a day and date on HBO.
Was
Max.
It okay?
Let me see. Well, let's see. It was delayed through VOD on demand. So it was VOD and then HBO Max. So
sure.
I mean, it wasn't a flop. I mean, it made money. It made $52 million. On a $35 million budget. So for the circumstances, it was fine. But I wouldn't look at that and go, yeah, that needs a sequel. Because I liked Greenland. I thought it was solid. Yeah, it was cool, and it was, you know, it's always fun to tackle this subject. I mean, Greenland. I mean, Don't Look Up came out pretty soon after that. I mean, you know, disaster movies are cool, but
you
know,
there was the hook of that first one that like grabbed me was the idea that like the child was the one that was gonna, like, if I remember right, it was like Roy from The Office stole the kid at one point. And it's like, oh, you could get separated from your family here, and like all like that's cool stuff. This doesn't really register other than like we meet people, but they're not going to be nice people or whatever, or like we meet people and, you know, there's even like a scene that's like pulled almost straight from the first movie. And I'm like, we've already done this. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I guess what I was trying to say is like, if you have a budget or a profit that they had, which is pretty modest profit from the first film, then I would assume that if you're making a sequel, it's probably not because the studio asked you, it's because you asked the studio. And if you asked the studio, it's probably because you have a really clear idea of a story you want to tell.
Sure.
But here, maybe they did, but again, it's in the execution. Like, I think I can see the pitch. Like, I think I can see what the idea was, but I can't see in execution how it matters. And so I think that to me is the film's detriment.
Well, I can see them trying to convince the studio, like, look, the first one came down during COVID. Like, that would have been a much bigger profit in the regular times.
Yeah. And it did profit you. So like now let's do, and like, yeah, didn't work out, but I don't know, man. It's just one of those movies that like exists, and it made somebody, happy to make it, and to, like Gerard Butler made money off of it. Cool. But, I don't know. It doesn't really do anything for you. So I would say, even if you're 22 and you have nothing but free time, there's no real reason to watch this. Yeah. Go do something with your time. Learn a trade. Come on, young man. Learn a trade. But don't watch Greenland 2. Go become an electrician.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hooper needs his AC fixed.
I was gonna say I thought about it. I was like, I think I'll just go get my certification.
Yeah, might as well.
Sometimes, like when I'm feeling really charitable, thinking about why certain movies exist, I always wonder, like, do studios just think that we have reached the point in the cycle where we think that new audiences are going to get these stories from these recently released movies? Like we've seen, like you said, we've seen this all before. This has been done a million times in stories. Are they just thinking, yeah, but like young people aren't going to watch that old stuff. They're going to watch something like, is it a belief that because it's new, it's more likely to be viewed by younger audiences? And like,
you want to know what I believe it is? I think it's that the studios and studio executives lack the ability to understand what a film is and what you're pitching, unless you can say it's like 28 Days Later, it's like The Walking Dead, and then they understand it and then they buy it.
Yeah.
So the things that they buy are the things that are the most derivative, because that's the things they can understand and point to. But if somebody walks in with an idea and goes, look, I guess it's kind of like this, but not really. Like, it doesn't really have much of an analog, but here's what I want to do. And they're telling the story. Then the executives are just like, blah.
So it's a combination of risk aversion and like a want to reproduce something that has been successful before.
Correct.
And maybe that a lot of newer filmmakers are not good salesmen, are not good at pitching an idea about what is new. Are not good.
Even when you pitch, you are told explicitly, you are pitching to people who don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you have to give them a frame of reference.
Right.
So when you pitch a character, it can't be, well, so here's his backstory and why he's psychologically complex is you just have to go, he's a little bit like Han Solo.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, got it.
Yeah. He's John McClane, but he doesn't have legs.
Yeah, he's John McClane meets, the Terminator because he's a robot John McClane. And you're like, oh, got it. I got that idea.
Yeah, cool. He's John McClane, but he's a stork.
That's right. We're making migration after all. But it is but like that's what they want. They want you to walk in and say it's like blank.
He would say,
and if you can't do that,
mother flockers.
Yippee-ki-yay. Yeah. I think it's the sad state of where we are. But also I think like filmmakers get bullied sometimes by the studios who go, like, I could see this filmmaker going in and going, look, I really want to tell this story.
Yeah.
It's a story about like fatherhood and like raising a child and in this, making him a good man and whatever it is, like whatever the original pitch was. And then them going, well, I think that's too obtuse a concept. We do want you to make it, but make sure there's plenty of space rocks falling.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then they deliver a script and the studio goes, more space rocks. And then you're like, okay. And then you deliver that script and they go, more space rocks. And you're like, okay, and you deliver that, and by the time they're done and they've approved the script, it's taken all the things out. And so I do think that's part of it too.
And I don't know, and I guess studios, maybe VFX have come such a long way to where if you were to push back and say, don't you want to spend less money?
Yeah.
They just go, oh no, it's production value. Like it needs things happening. Like
the more money we spend, the more money we make. That's what they're trained to believe.
Right.
And that's such a backwards concept. And I hope that that's changing, because listen, we're recording this after the release of Obsession and Backrooms.
Yes.
And these are low budget films that are beating The Mandalorian at the box office.
Yeah. Obsession took #1.
People want to see something that's cool and new and unique, and like it's something that a filmmaker thought up and created, and it's not based on anything. It's just a story that we wanted to tell, and we can tell it cheap, and we can make a lot of money off of it.
Yeah.
The studio did this. Now, horror always exists in this world, right? Because we remember when like Paranormal Activity came out, and they're like, we made this for $150,000 or whatever. And it's like made for nothing on like prosumer cameras or whatever. And it made gangbusters at the theaters. Why? Because like people wanted to see something cool and new and unique. But it's the difference between like what happened between Paranormal Activity and now is you have the MCU, where everyone in Hollywood was trained. The more money we spend, the more chances we have of breaking $1 billion at the box office. But you should understand, Greenland 2 ain't going to break $1 billion.
Yeah.
In no world will it break $1 billion. I don't even care. You could put, instead of Gerard Butler, you could put Robert Downey Jr. And instead of Miranda Baccarin, you could put Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. Instead of their teenage son, you could put Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Pratt,
it doesn't matter. You can fill it out with every single MCU person.
Yeah.
It's not going to break $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because that's not what people want. Like that's not, there's no draw.
Yeah.
You can't just say, we're going to replicate it and it'll still do the thing. It won't do the thing. So, I think you have to understand this is a movie that we spend very little on and get a lot out of. And hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
And if not, at least it's a small loss.
Well, this movie was it would make half its money back, like $45 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is it's a flop. It's a failure, and it's a flop of the studio. There's no reason that this should have been a $90 million movie. This should have been a $10 million movie.
Yeah.
And then, yes, you don't get the big space rocks falling out of the sky, but you already did that in the first one. You don't need it again. Give me something different. So I don't know. Whatever.
I've got one more thing.
Okay.
On I don't know how I really feel about it. To be honest, I'm still kind of formulating an opinion. But on the low budget side, Keeper.
There's something special about you.
You make the children.
I want to go.
I want to leave now. I want to go back to before.
This is Oz Perkins, right?
This is Oz Perkins, who also directed, Long
Legs.
Long Legs, The Monkey, which I did see. I just remembered. I did see that.
Yeah,
I didn't like The Monkey that much.
Big on that.
Yeah. No, I don't remember what I said about The Monkey, but I remember thinking, no.
Yeah.
Oh, and he directed, he produced Backrooms.
Oh, how about that?
So yeah, this movie, it's a horror film, folk horror, Wikipedia says. Written by Nick Leppard.
Okay.
Written by a leopard named Nick.
Oh, a leopard.
directed by Osgood Perkins, starring Tatiana Maslany, Rosie Sutherland, Burkett Turton. Yeah.
You're on a roll with these names.
I'm not doing well tonight. This is a Neon film. 100 minutes and horror. And I had a weekend without the kids, and I told Paula, like, I'm trying to get her into horror movies, and she'll watch them if it's with me. And so I was like, cool, we're gonna watch Keeper. Keeper looks messed up, so we're gonna watch it. And it's a movie essentially about a couple spending an anniversary weekend in a cabin in the woods, and stuff happens.
Yeah.
So they're like, great. And I didn't even write notes for Keeper. Keeper's an experience. I'll just say it like that. Like it's not a movie. It's horror is weird like this. Like let's start with the good. Like horror, well done horror, which I think this is always worth watching just because it's a dialed in cinema experience. Mm-hmm. I didn't blink during Keeper. I stared at the screen. I didn't want to look away. I wanted to I wanted to see what was there for me to see.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it's like, that's worth it. It's not a boring film. Mm-hmm. Stuff is happening. It's very slow. It takes its time. But as it goes, you kind of have your theories about what's going on. And so you got stuff to suspect and to think about, and and then it comes to its conclusion, and it ends, and you don't really feel anything about how it ended. It ends, and you're like, that's one way to end it.
Sure.
I don't know, and I guess it's just film student in me that's like, would I have ended it differently? Would the way I would have ended it been more trite and more blockbustery?
Sure.
More conventional. And so it's one of those movies where you watch it and then you're like, cool. And I don't know what that is. And sometimes I watch movies where that happens, and and then I have to go on Reddit and figure out if it's brilliant or if it was just garbage.
Yeah. Sure.
And then I read a really long Reddit thing kind of explaining why it makes sense. And I was like, yeah, okay. But these are movies I need assistance on. I can't tell.
Sure.
So it cost me $6 to rent it. I would kind of wish I had got it. The library didn't have it. I tried. It wasn't anywhere streaming for free. And so I'm not sorry I did it. And it was kind of cool. And, it just, what do you want out of a movie? Do you want an open and shut plot where at the end, there's nothing really ambiguous about the film. It ends and you're like, what happens to everybody. Mm-hmm. It's not like, it's not one of those. It's not open-ended. Like, well, what do you think happened? It's like, well, here's, the plot does end. It concludes. Mm-hmm. It's more about like, oh, did I pick up on what that means? And so what was all of that stuff? And I don't know. I'm doing a bad job articulating this, but I don't know. In that way, horror is just a risk. Sometimes it ends just the way you think you want it to. And you're like, why do I not feel fulfilled? And sometimes it ends. Oh, hi, bud. He's taken to jumping up on me, and that's really cute. But he digs his claws in my leg to do it. And then I see if he'll stick around. So yeah, I don't know. Would I recommend Keeper? Sure. If you like horror movies, I don't think it's one to skip. If you're poking around, it's Osgood Perkins. It's if you're into horror movies that are well done, it's well made. It's just not like, I get more out of watching not Zach Baggins. He's the Ghost Adventures guy.
Zach Baggins.
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of
Zach Kreger.
Zach Kreger. Yeah.
Zach Kreger, like Weapons and Barbarian. Those are movies that have that atmosphere, but they have like a climax, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yep.
And they're more exciting.
Sure.
And so this isn't an exciting movie. It's just sort of like, this is cool. If all Osgood Perkins makes is films like Keeper, I won't question like his filmmaking. It'll be an oeuvre full of films that are like, that's cool. I don't know if it's memorable. That's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it's just not memorable.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think sometimes horror movies have the uphill battle of like, we've all seen horror movies and we kind of have a vague idea of how they're probably going to end. Mm-hmm. There's one of two endings. You basically either end with one person alive or no people alive.
Yes.
But then the idea is like, okay, so how do we suspend our disbelief long enough to enjoy the ride, knowing that that's probably how it's going to go.
Right.
And then you also have the uphill battle of like, if you end it where everyone dies, then how do you make that a fulfilling or a satisfying ending?
Yeah.
Because then it just feels like evil wins, or it feels like, pointless to have watched just something pick off all these people with basically no real opposition. And so like, I don't know. It is interesting. So I understand what you're saying. I do want to see this. So I'd like to see what you're thinking. But I remember thinking a little bit of the same thing around Longlegs. Is like, I liked Longlegs.
Yeah.
But I also felt like the ending was a little bit like, oh, okay, that's a little bit of a letdown. Yeah. And so when you compare it to something like Weapons, it does build to something. I think Weapons then did the thing where it builds to the line and then it like leaps over the line into absurd.
Sure.
And like, then it's something like Longlegs builds up to a line, but satisfying.
Yeah.
Longlegs builds to a line and it like never quite gets where you want it to.
Yeah.
Or at least where I wanted it to. So there is, I don't know.
There's more. I think that Keeper's story justifies its ending in a way. Like, again, especially like I think you'll catch the things that I didn't catch in this. I don't think you don't usually have to go to Reddit to understand the plot. I do sometimes,
man. But like the thing I don't like is going to YouTube and seeing like the ending explained.
Yeah.
And like I go there, I'm like, and I see that on like everything. It's like, oh, Superman 2025 ending explained. And I'm like, there's nothing to explain.
No, Keeper's got a good Reddit thread. And there's a high upvoted comment that's just like, here's this and here's this and here's this. And that's why it all makes. So it's a pretty well crafted like lore that it gets to. It's just, it's eventually explained on like an exposition dump basically. But you have your suspicion, like, I guessed like a fairly large part of the plot pretty quickly. But I don't know but that wasn't like the main thing. It was just like, it was still like, I sort of guessed like, okay, I think I know what is going on, but I don't know why. And I don't know, how this will turn out different for our protagonist. You get the sense, I'll say this, you get the sense pretty quickly that like, okay, people have been murdered out here. And so you're like, well, who did the murdering? And is Tatiana Maslany going to survive?
Yeah.
And so that part's not like it. So that's like information that's pretty obvious and, obviously builds the tension. Like, okay, she's in danger. But by who and why?
Yeah.
And so there's things that happen in the movie where you're sort of like, okay, maybe that's important, but there's still like but why? And it comes down to like, well, is the why enough? And does it explain and justify everything else that I saw?
Sure.
And there was a couple of times where I was like, but it doesn't make sense then that happened. And then I read it, I was like, no, it does because of this. And so I'd like to talk to you about it in spoilers.
Sure.
So let me know when you've seen that because I'll revisit it. But
so I remember when you saw the movie together and you were talking a little bit about like the lore of it kind of being a detriment. Is it sort of the same deal or
no, because the lore in Together is like the water does this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that doesn't really make sense. Like why? And I think we were talking about in Together how like it doesn't work at scale. Cause then it's like, well, if this happens to everybody, then like, why aren't there just a bunch of like Gojitas, walking around like people who used to be two people.
Yeah.
What's that about? Like, because that was the whole metaphor about marriage and relationships and assimilating into one entity instead of retaining your individuality. And it's like, well, if this happens to all married couples, then why haven't their parents?
Why are we seeing it more? Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really make sense practically. It's an interesting idea for body horror, but it's like, if you really wanted to say something about this, you would do this or this. No, I don't think it's like that. It's just the plot of this one is a lot more like itself, like folky, like folk horror is a good thing. Cause it's like, once you understand like what's going on, it is very like, it sounds like a folk tale.
Sure.
It's just executed as modern horror. And so in that way, that's his pitch. Like, I want to do a folk story, but I want to give it a modern sensibility.
Sure.
And so in that sense, it's done really well. And Tatiana Maslany is great. I love her. I want to see her do more things. And she was the main draw for me for this one. Otherwise, I don't know that I would have come to it necessarily. Sure. But I'd be curious to know your thoughts. But it was one of those, like, when we were done, I think I asked, like, did you like it? And I was like, well, I wasn't bored, and I was certainly tuned in,
invested.
And glued. I was invested. So I was like, okay, that's all I really need.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'd love to nitpick the plot though. For sure. So yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. Well,
cool.
That'll be this episode.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it, everybody.